Hey everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood Noah here, and welcome to
Noah's Little Toy Shop of Horrors.
I really hope we can edit my voice to be echoey and stuff like that, but I don't know who's editing it or how to do it. But we'll work on it. So today is a very special day for two reasons. One, it's the first ever segment of Noah's Little Toy Shop of Horrors in the Women in Horror YouTube page. And two, on May 23rd, 1980, which is 40 years ago, a long time ago, old people age, a movie was released called The Shining, which is about a man who, he just goes crazy and tries to kill people. His family. It happens. We're all in this situation that he's going through right now. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so, first things first, before we even talk about the game, we're going to talk about this art. So the art is fantastic. There's going to be a slideshow showing the art, because why not? But the art is absolutely amazing. And it's not just the cover itself. The cover, amazing art. From the front to the sides to the back, it's fantastic. But the art of the board, front and back, is also phenomenal. The back of the board is a canvas of the hotel in daytime and nighttime. It's perfectly done. I believe it's done in acrylic paint, but I could be wrong. But it's absolutely fantastic. And that's how the cards and the front of the board, all of it's done the same way. It's done phenomenally. The cards themselves have different scenes and different characters from the movies on them, and they are just fantastic. Like, there's one of the twins. You got the hotel on there too, of the dead bodies in that one scene, and then there's that weird dog thing that was in it for like 5 seconds, and it's overall just an amazing piece of artwork in itself. Like this, you could put this in a display case, and it's just phenomenal. It's amazing. I love it. Now, getting to the game itself. Overall, game's really fun. Figuring out how to play the game is not fun. Now, we all know when you're playing a game, board game, card game, reading the instructions, it's a little boring, can be kind of tricky. This takes it up a whole other thing. It's a whole new notch. It's all the way up in that scale. It took my family and I 2 hours and 4 different instruction videos on YouTube to not figure it out for the first time. So we tried figuring it out, couldn't figure it out, and then I think we played it we played it yesterday for a couple hours because we finally figured it out, and that was like a month. This is like a month later. It's awful. It's honestly atrocious to figure out how to play this game. So definitely one negative about this game is the ungodly amount of time it takes to figure out what you're doing when you're playing this game, or at least how to play it. Because the game itself, it's cool. It's got different modes, and it's fun. You go through the different areas of I think it's Orville, the different areas of the hotel. It's a really good game, but figuring out how to play it sucks. It's honestly just terrible. And whoo, it was a heck of a time. Whew. Alright, so on to the game modes and the objectives. So now we're done talking about the art, which is amazing, and the ungodly amount of time it takes to actually figure out how to play the game. We're going to talk about about playing the game in general. So there's 2 modes. And in the one mode, you're all in the hotel and you're all just trying to get to the 5th month. Now, in order to get to the 5th month and survive, you have to go through the 5 different shining phases. Now, sometimes they can be 2 turns or 20 turns. It really all depends. And how you get the shining phase is you take the event cards, and if the event cards are the same color, then you get into a shining phase. And there's these little tokens that have amounts of points on them. And if you have enough points, an equal amount or a higher amount to the points of the game, or of the 2 shining cards you're given each go around the board, or each shining round, you get new cards. If you have an equal amount or a higher amount to the number that is added up and equal to those cards, you're safe and you're not possessed and you don't have to attack anybody. If you're lower, you have to go into a room where there's a person, or if you're already in a room with a person, you have to attack a person. So, in that objective, or in that mode of the game, your objective is solely to survive 5 months. Now, any of you can die. One of you can make it out. All of you can make it out. None of you can make it out. Typically, it would be 1 through 5. But that's your objective of that game. You have to make it through all 5 shinings in all 5 months in order to, win. What the other mode is a role mode. And what that is there's 5 roles, 4 of which are caretakers, and then 1 is the corrupted, which is pretty much what Jack Torrance was in the, And the caretaker's role is to figure out who the corrupted is and try and make it through all between 4 and 5 months, depending on whether or not you figure out who the corrupted is. The corrupted's role is to kill 1 caretaker before that happens, before you escape. And if one caretaker dies, only 1, the odds are not in your favor if you're a caretaker. You lose the game and the corrupted wins. And then I assume you all become possessed or whatever, however movies work. So, yeah. It's really interesting how they did it. It's like you'd think it's like a traditional board game, but it's really not. Like, yeah, you go through the things, you collect different tokens, but it's like other board games, but it still has its own originality, which I really like about the game, and it kind of stays true to the movie and the book itself, which I like as well. And it's just a fun time. Like, when I first watched The Shining, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a fan. I didn't like it. Gave it a second go around. Absolutely amazing. Loved it. 10 out of 10. Good movie. So yeah, the roles are fun, but I would say it's about even on which is better, in my opinion, because starting out, you probably just want to go through it not having rolls, and you could kill as many people as you want. You can try and get possessed in The Shining, but it kind of stinks. The only thing that stinks about the rolls is that, you die, it's over. And if anyone dies, it's over. So yeah, that kind of stinks, but, such is life. So, just a recap of everything we talked about. The Shining came out 40 years ago today, which gives horror fans across the world wet dreams. The art of this game itself, absolutely amazing. One of the best parts about the game, in my opinion. The game itself, fantastic. Love it. Really fun to play. Once you can figure out how to play it. That is the bad part. So that being said, all of it bashed up together, I will give this I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Only because the instructions really weigh it down. And, it's fun, but, after a while, if you play a board game, it's a little boring and whatnot. But the board game itself, fantastic. I loved it. I had a great-ass time. Here's the front, as you can see. I probably should have done this in the beginning. The side says The Shining, the age restriction, and the players. I don't really get the age restriction because it's a board game and whatnot. Here's the back, which is kind of like the instructions, the board and everything and whatnot. There's going to be a slideshow of all this stuff. So, you don't really have to worry about that. The Shining board game. So, the creator of this game is... Prospero Hall. Now, I don't know where you can get this other than where we got it, which was Target. If you want to find the game, I'm sure we'll put a link in the description below of where you can purchase this. It's really fun. It's like a traditional cost for a board game. It's about $45, which is typical for a board game. Really expensive for a lot of paper and cardboard. But I personally think it's worth it for this game. It's really cool. And it's really interesting that we can get beloved horror movies into... Now we're breaking through video games, and we got board games now. It's really cool. I really like it. I think you should buy it. And there's also another horror game, which is a cult classic film. It's a Jaws board game. Now, I will most definitely review that, probably on the Jaws anniversary, which is, I believe, is June 20th? Or July 20th. It's one of those months. But they're not made by the same people, but they are both really cool. The Jaws one looks pretty interesting. I have yet to play it. I have it, but I haven't played it yet because, instructions, as I said. And, yeah, it's really interesting. This game, definitely buy it. I would buy this again because who doesn't want to? One to play, one to display, as many of us horror fans do. Buy one figure, leave it in the box. Buy another one, take it out of the box, put it in the display case. That's what you should do with this game. Probably should do this with this game because it's amazing. Leave it in sealed and all that. Like I said, good game, shitty instructions, buy it. So that does it for my first ever segment of
Noah's Little Toy Shop of Horrors.
Again, I don't know if we're going to do the echoing or if that's just going to look really stupid. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stab that like button. As you do, just stab the like button because we're horror fans. Just, go like that. Slice it if you want. Hit the notification bell. Tell your friends. Do all that fun stuff. Subscribe if you're not already. And be sure to check out our social media sites. We have a Facebook page. I believe we also have a Twitter page. And we have a website. Those will all also be in the link in the description below, as well as my other YouTube channel, which is Friendly Neighborhood Noah. That will be in the link in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching. And without further ado, peace.